Hello and welcome into the Sporting Pod. Along with Tony Allegretti, I'm Cole Pepper. Mauricio Ruiz is traveling. We'll talk a little bit about that here coming up. But today on the pod, the U.S. moving on at the Olympics, how the men and women have fared so far, a look back at a soggy Stateside Cup, and a look ahead to what's coming in the next few months. A reminder, we are fed by the Bearded Pig, locally owned and operated with locations in San Marco and Jax Beach. Make sure you swing by the Bearded Pig for great barbecue and great times. I was the lucky winner the other day. I was the last order of burn ends.
Wow.
Got them.
Those are the burniest ends.
They are
too,
the burniest of ends.
Yes.
Excellent.
Love the Bearded Pig.
I do too. All right, let's see. Let's start with the Olympics, shall we, Tony?
Yeah.
And we'll start with the women, who have been dominant so far. 9 points from 3 group stage matches. The U.S. women's national team faces Japan 9 a.m. on Saturday in the quarterfinals. They would face either Germany or Canada in the semis, which both would be intriguing matchups. But, boy, what a start for Emma Hayes in her first tournament competition as the head coach of the U.S. women's team.
Unbelievable. In this studio, I don't know if it was the last time or the time before, I was talking about how the players might react or play for their gaffer, and oh my gosh, I was wrong to even bring it up because they are on fire. They're in sync. They're the up front. Just their nose for the goal and their ability to, make stuff happen. It's really impressive. So,
and I think they can be better than they have been. I was watching the Australia, I just as a team, I was watching the matchup against Australia, and Australia really sat in a low block for most of the first half before a late goal, and they had to bring them out a little bit. But the midfield has been just okay for the U.S. Lindsey Horan, Rose Lavelle, who I love to watch play. I mean, her tenacity is amazing, but she hasn't been razor sharp. If those two can kind of take that next step, Crystal Dunn becoming a little more comfortable in her role, playing a little more of a deeper position. This is a U.S. team that might be playing as well as any we've seen in a long, long time.
Totally agree, and I agree with you on some of that midfield play. But the composure's still there. That's one of the things I think with Australia. Australia kind of got out of their head a little bit, and man, you can't do that in a match like that. I can't remember. I don't know. They were at risk of getting grouped. Did they make it? I'm not sure.
I'll have to check the standings. I don't think so. I think because in the
Canada would have had to won. I remember. Sorry to do this.
Yeah, that's right. I've got it right here. Yeah. So it was Australia, and they did not go through. They finished 1 win, 2 losses. So
that's bad for the Matildas. I mean, they're a powerhouse, really in women's soccer, and so getting them knocked out was probably pretty good for us long run.
So here are the teams that did make it through from Group A: France, Canada, and Colombia. From Group B: the United States and Germany. From Group C: Spain, Japan, and Brazil. Yeah. So the quarterfinals are all set. Just 3 groups, and that's why you have some third-place teams going through. Obviously, Spain is probably, if you were to say before the tournament started, what would be the ultimate gold medal match would be the U.S. against Spain, the way Spain's playing right now.
Yeah. Well, they're defending World Cup champs. I mean, can't beat Spain.
That'll do it. And number 1 of the world.
And really, in every whatever gender and age group, Spain's pretty
doing
much
well
dominating.
Right now. They're doing very well. All right, let's move on to the men who also advanced. Interestingly enough, by the way, the Group A table is very symmetrical. France, 3 wins out of 3 games. The United States, 2 wins and a loss. New Zealand, 1 win, 2 losses. Guinea, no wins, 3 losses. So 3-2-1-0, 0-1-2-3. It's a very balanced. It all worked the way it should have worked. And so that sets the United States on to play in the quarterfinals. It will be Thursday at 9 a.m. They may already have played by the time you hear this against
Morocco.
Friday against Morocco, 9 a.m.
Yep.
So that's an intriguing matchup. Again, if you were to think of this from the senior team standpoint, you'd think, boy, that's a pretty good matchup. I don't know enough about Morocco's U23s to give a good feel.
I did watch them.
You did? Okay, good.
I watched them. They actually lost to Ukraine on some awful refereeing. Like one of those offsides goals, it should have been a draw, maybe even better for Morocco. But there's one of those offsides goals where, like, what is VAR doing? And that was the only game they lost. But Morocco's always up for it, and they do have some of their real national talent on the overage players. So
plus the 23 and over. So you get 3 of those. Morocco won their group on a way down the line tiebreaker over Argentina. The goal differential was the same between the two sides. And in the men's competition, it's just the top 2 in each group that went through. So France and the United States out of Group A, Morocco, Argentina from Group B, Egypt, Spain from Group C. Spain with a loss in their matchup.
Yep.
So it did make it through.
And I think Egypt beat Argentina, I believe. Somebody beat Argentina.
Somebody did beat Argentina.
And France is about to play Argentina.
I think Morocco beat Argentina, as a matter of fact.
Sorry. Yeah,
and then Group D has Japan and Paraguay. So, again, these are all significant footballing countries, so to speak. Paraguay might be, the one that you'd say, well, okay, it could have gone either way. But if you look at their group, not unexpected. Mali and Israel were the other sides.
Yeah, Japan got a skate there.
Yep.
Japan's had some days off. So
interestingly, if you look at on the men's side, who went unscathed throughout the competition? Japan, 3 wins, 7 goals, 4 no goals conceded, and then France is the only other. 7 goals for, no goals conceded in a much more difficult group.
Yeah. Well, and they only beat Guinea like 1-0. So, like, France is a clinic. So it's super wide open.
By the way, France winning 1-0 in an international competition, we've said that before.
Yeah.
That's happened.
Yeah. So, well, I'm really excited for it. It seems wide open. I feel like getting knocked around a little bit by France, although we didn't really play that bad. We talked about that. Was probably great for us. We got to really want it, and we got to dig deep to beat Morocco and keep rolling. But if we do, then we probably deserve to be in the semis, so it'll be fun.
Yeah, it should be quite a bit. And Jordi Mihailovic scored a goal last time out, Jacksonville born, son of the former JU head coach. So good to see a little bit of a local connection there.
Well, he's playing awesome, too.
He's one
a lot
of the 3
people were questioning him being added to the team, and he's an absolute leader.
It's such an interesting decision to make because, the MLS season continues, and so some of the players who are playing in MLS who are over 23 Americans, you might see, hey, can we get their MLS team wouldn't want to release him. Colorado's not having a great run of it, so great opportunity for Jordy to get in there and be an Olympian. So kudos to him. We'll try to catch up with him after the Olympics.
That'd be fun. Yeah,
see if we can talk to him about his experience. Do want to remind you that the Sporting Jacks report off for a couple of weeks during the Olympics. We will return on August the 14th, and when we do, we'll be in the 12:30 p.m. time slot Wednesday on ABC 25, right after First Coast News. That's going to be big. Also, when we come back, our Saturday time slot, Tony, will be at noon on NBC 12, right before the Premier League on NBC. So very excited about that time slot.
Yeah, man, it's going to be awesome. I think everybody in the world is really amping up for the season in the Prem.
Yeah, looking forward to that. And then, of course, the Sporting Jack Soccer Hour on radio Mondays at 6 p.m. until, starting next week. Tuesday at 6 p.m. I'll be out of town. You will be hosting.
Yes. I've been studying up on my FCC terms
Words not to say?
Yes. Yeah. So
there are
trying not to get fined.
Can I just tell you there are 3 rules of broadcasting?
Yes.
Number 1, get all the breaks in. Number 2, get out on time.
Yes.
3, don't cuss. Everything else is style points. So just do those 3 things and you'll be fine. So tune in on Tuesday at 6 p.m. to listen to Tony with his maiden voyage.
Yeah.
As a sub, we're bringing in a sub at the hour mark.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's kind of like the Wolves when they brought on like 18 people in the second half. Yeah, that's basically me.
We'll also hear in that show from Georgia Brown, the Florida Elite center back who was recently named to the USLW best
player
11
of the year or something.
and the defensive player of the year. So that's going to be fun to hear from her. All right. Also, while you're at it, go to sportingjacks.com, become a member of Sporting Jacks, and it's easy to do, absolutely free. You get discounts on Sporting Jacks merchandise, invitations to VIP events, chances to win special prizes and experiences. Plus, while you're there, you can sign up to be a Sporting Jacks season ticket holder. Put your deposit down, $25 for the men, $25 for the women, or $40 for both. And you get a special limited edition Sporting Jacks founding member pin. Let's pivot now to the Stateside Cup. We talked a little bit about this with Mauricio on the radio show this past week, but really disappointing that the weather played such a big role in things. We had to cancel the youth clinic that we had lined up. I think we had like 125, 150 kids who were ready to participate in the flex field there. Had to cancel that because of the lightning in the area, and then a 2-hour rain delay. But kudos to everybody who hung around to watch Wolves and West Ham.
Yeah, they were not disappointed. What a match! It was fun. Really fun. Yeah. If you're, thank goodness it was Saturday because staying up that late for me was a trip. But yeah, really intense. They played well. The field held up. I was really impressed because we were doing check-in for the youth clinic right at about the time the skies opened up, and by the time we were packing that up, it was ankle deep. It was like flooded.
It was like legitimate flash flood level, tropical storm hurricane level rains.
No.
I haven't seen that outside of a tropical system in a long time in Jacksonville.
Yeah, there's some great photos of the field being really inundated, and the fact that it drained so quickly and they were able to get that pitch ready in time was really a testament to Everbank.
Great job by the grounds crew there for that.
Unbelievable.
And then a 3-1 Wolves win. As
3-2,
I said,
3-2. I thought.
Did they score a late one?
Or maybe it was
called back.
Was
Remember,
it called back? It was
back.
offside.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Yeah, you were worried it was going to tie the game, and then we were going to be there even longer.
Yeah, sorry. I'm still tired.
Yeah, I know. You got to recover. But point being is it definitely was a preseason match between two mid-table Premier League teams who have talent and have young players to bring on to develop. That had, I think it was best in moments. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a great match front to back. There was some sloppiness. Mm-hmm. The field contributed that to some regard, and because there were some spots where the ball kind of held up, particularly in the first half. But the moment when they had good moments, they were terrific.
Yeah, absolutely. And some of those guys that probably fighting for a starting position. There was really great, and they're young players if they're 60 something on the back of the jersey, but all the way around there was a guy because we had a tent where people were checking in. It was a bit of a respite for people that were running in from the parking lot, and I met a guy under our tent who came from Utah just for this match.
Wolves fan or West Ham fan?
West Ham fan. Never seen him. He'd been to London, couldn't get in. They were playing away and couldn't get in, and so he decided to make his vacation this year, Jacksonville, to come to the match. And I was thinking about him the entire time because I honestly thought there's no way they're playing this. It was so bad. But I feel really good for him. I'm 100% sure he stayed. So
of course, where else are you going to go?
Yeah, exactly. The Hyatt. So anyway, it was great all the way around. Really, really pleased for anybody that stuck that out because it was worth it. And
anecdotally, secondhand information from Riley Platt, who handles our merchandise and
team store manager Riley Platt.
Yep. Our money, as we sometimes refer to him.
Yeah.
Riles Barkley.
Right.
Whatever. He said that with the merch table set up near the was it a soccer.com table or
right? Yeah, they had the
West Ham and Wolves stuff and everything else. That there was as much activity around the Sporting Jacks table, and we have a thing when we go out to public events. We call it Spin to Win.
Right, where everybody wins.
Everybody wins.
Yes.
You win something, and it's basically a virtual spinning wheel, and I think we broke the wheel.
We broke the wheel. In fact, I spent early parts of this week ordering just more swag, which we got some cool new stuff coming in.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We'll look forward to that. Okay, let's look ahead to the month of August now that we are into the month of August. We know for sure UNF hosting Florida on August the 22nd is going to be a big one. The Ospreys open at Miami and at Florida State, so that is a tough opening stretch for UNF.
Jeez.
But it's really going to be a rallying call for soccer fans in Jacksonville. We'll be there, and we're going to really try to get the word out. We'd love to see a packed house
Show
at
up.
Hodges Stadium.
Yeah. So what's the date on that?
August 22nd.
August 22nd. Put that on your calendar. That's going to be a ton of fun.
What else are you looking forward to in the month of August?
Well, let's see.
A lot of things brewing behind the scenes.
Yeah, there are. You know what? I feel like Mourinho. If I say, I'll be in trouble. So August is crazy. September's all of this in the run up. I think for me, August is the beginning of the Prem, and that's what I'm really looking forward to.
And the beginning of the first season of the USL Super League, which opens on the 17th, I think.
17th, and then the 18th.
Tampa on the 18th will open up, and we'll be down there to get a sense of how things are going there in advance of Sporting Jacks opening up in the future for the USL Super League. So, boy, there's a lot on the plate.
I should tell you, too, we had a meeting with one of the USL League folks yesterday, and he was talking about Tampa's already really kind of oversold. Like they're going to be packed out. They are going to be packed out for the season, and of course, Tampa's kind of got a celebrity GM, probably one of the brightest minds in all of football, recognized Christina Uncle, and so that doesn't hurt. But Tampa's such a great soccer community too. So speaking
of the USL Super League, we like to kind of update a couple of signings each week as we get closer and closer to the season. Last week, Brooklyn Football Club signed a couple of players, Dana Sheriff and Allison Pantuso. Dana Sheriff not spelled the same as the Jaguars guard, Brandon Sheriff, so no relation there. But Dana Sheriff had been playing in Ireland and for the in the top division in Switzerland as well. So that's a player with a lot of international experience. Allison Pantuso, a midfielder, also playing in the Swedish First Division, former team captain for Oregon State. So these are the kind of signings we're seeing. I've been. It started slowly, but I've really been impressed with the kind of signings we've seen so far.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And, imagine playing soccer all your life to get a pro contract and be able to play your home games in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so sweet.
Pretty sweet there.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And what about, I don't know that we've talked about it yet. It may have been announced in between shows. But Dallas hosting Barcelona.
Barcelona, yes.
That's massive.
Again, about half of the Barcelona team is the Spanish national team.
Right.
And obviously having been a dominant force over the last several years in terms of the Women's Champions League and so on, that's going to be amazing for folks there in Dallas. And those are the kinds of things that you don't necessarily think about initially when you talk about having a team who will play home games in a league and hope to get to the playoffs and so forth. But the other opportunities, because of soccer is such a global game, that to have those opportunities to bring these friendlies in and to play these games to expose kids to the wider world, so many soccer players. It's one thing that I have just noticed in my time of interviewing soccer players. Sometimes you'll interview, let's say, an American football player who's a rookie who was drafted in the second round out of Clemson. They grew up in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Other than road trips in the ACC, they didn't really go very far. They don't. And this is, I'm painting with a broad brush here, but so many American athletes, because America is so vast, you can go across the country and it's sort of like a road trip, but it's not the same as going to countries with different languages and different cultures and different traditions. But a lot of soccer players really enjoy that part of the experience. I remember talking with Gary Lewis, who's from Jacksonville, who had played all over the world. Sean Nickla, former Armada player who had played for Guam and had played international games for the Guam national team in Iraq and things like this. So there is a different perspective, a different opportunity as a professional player to experience those things firsthand. And as a fan, you kind of experience them secondarily if these other teams and players come into your town.
Yeah, well, and you get that's the best thing. Travel is amazing. You broaden your horizons. You culturally see things that you don't see at home. But the golden thread is the game that everybody loves. It's the beautiful game.
That's right. Yeah. All right, we'll call it a podcast here and now. Next week, no pod because people will be traveling. Mauricio is going to be in Europe at an event that brings soccer decision makers together. It's sort of like a live version of speed dating for the transfer portal, if you think about it that way. Mm-hmm. Great opportunity to develop some relationships. Sporting Jacks was invited by the USL to be one of the teams to go over there and experience that and start to understand how things are being laid out. Great opportunity. As you know, Tony, in business in general, but especially in sports, relationships matter. So building some of those relationships face-to-face and then being able to use the technology to identify what kind of players different teams are after, what are important to them, really is revolutionizing the way that teams are finding players.
Yeah, it's a whole new era too, because there's so many things right now that are really, algorithms that are helping people recruit, apps that are collecting really pinpoint data that's really going to help. I mean, it's an amazing time right now, to be honest.
It really is. All right, and we're looking forward to being a part of it with Sporting Jacks moving forward. So no podcast next week. We'll return the week after. No radio or no TV show next week. Yes, a radio show.
Yes,
Tony will have that one.
Please tune in. It'll probably be the last time I'm invited to do it, but it'll be spectacular.
I want to see if Tony...
My triumphant return to the AM airwaves.
To the microwave, to the microphone.
Yeah.
You've been to the microwave.
I have.
That's a whole different thing. All right, that'll do it for Tony Allegretti. I'm Cole Pepper. Thanks so much for listening to The Sporting Pod.